Legally, there is no euthanasia in Indonesia. According to the Penal Code, Criminal Chapter 19, Article 344, there is no euthanasia by no one, by no means. There is no physician-assisted death, nor physician-assisted death. If you are doing so, you will be 12 years imprisonment for the maximum. According to Ronald Manson, death concept can be divided into four: the traditional death, whole brain death, higher brain death, personhood death. Well, the traditional death is if there is no breath or no heartbeat; the whole brain death if there is no irreversible cessation. If there is irreversible cessation or there is no function of the brain, and the higher brain death if there is a permanent unconsciousness. The last and not least is the personhood death if there is you are no longer as a person. The Indonesian Medical Code of Ethics generally distinguishes euthanasia into three categories: the active euthanasia, passive euthanasia, and auto-euthanasia. Because we follow these categories, but the living will or do not resuscitate orders in Indonesia is unpopular expression. The Indonesian death definition follow this criteria. We follow the traditional death and higher brain death. The traditional death is also called a clinical death, and the higher brain death is also called as a vegetative death. Lo and behold, this is to determine whether someone need for resuscitation or not, which then faces the ethical, moral, legal, economic, socio-cultural, and religious issues. Practically, passive euthanasia is common in Indonesia, the passive one for a terminally ill patient where no hope for recovery, such as to refuse care, to withdraw life-sustaining equipment, to let the patient die, to take the patient home, or to take the steps to prolong patient's life. The perspective and practices of death in Indonesia from the economical aspect. Only 10% of the population in Indonesia has insurance. Now, other than that, direct out of pocket of the users for the medical expenses. It's already a burden for the family when they have a chronically ill of the member of the family, suck out the property of the family, the welfare of the family, while they have already in low lift. So, for the sake of the family, it is also common in Indonesia that the patient itself requesting to sacrifice himself not to be treated or otherwise to be treated at home. This is also for a doctor perspective to lighten the burden of the patient and the family. About allocating scarce resources, while the patient has the right to life, to obtain health care according to his medical need, but it is unfair, however, in allocating medical scarce resources to patients with irreversible coma or PVS, persistent vegetative states. So, in allocating these scarce resources, usually it's common that the poor is denied. These poor people are vulnerable in this case. The perspective and practice of death in Indonesia from the socio-cultural aspect. In respect to the terminally ill patient, such as aged patient, to die peacefully is at home. A home is the best place of dying, and because the patient wants to stay in touch with the family and the community, and in the Indonesian perspectives, somebody doesn't belong to himself. Somebody belongs to the family, belongs to the society, to the community. So it is time for him to make a word, to stay in touch with the family. This is a moment for gathering family. When the doctors has given up, the patients and family usually seek for a traditional medicine or complementary alternative medicine, which is mostly helpful because it psychologically eases the patient and the family as a whole. The perspective and practices of death in Indonesia from the religious aspect. We are religious people. We believe that euthanasia is fatalist because God orders man to make an effort till the end of life. Secondly, treatment is obligatory, wajib, or mandatory, sunnah, when there is a hope for recovery. But stop treatment is also obligatory or mandatory when there is no hope for recovery. So, because Indonesia mostly Muslim, more than 80% is Muslim, I would like to see in this view that perspective and practice of death in the Islamic view, in the case of irreversible coma or in the case of persistent vegetative state, for example, in the aged patient, we believe that delaying management remains without emergency reason, suspend the distribution of inheritance, and iddah. Iddah is 100 days for waiting period before a widow or divorced woman may remarry. Second, prolonging the family sad and suffering, and also prolonging other Islamic law-related death, for example, showering. For spend for something useless is forbidden in Islam. Last but not least, mudarat, disadvantage, preventing others who need the medical equipment, resuscitation, and so on and so forth, is also mudarat. So let him die owing to mercy. The perspective and practice of death in Indonesia from the physician view, it is a double effect. On one hand, there is no room for assisted nor hasten death in Indonesia. On the other, a lot of rooms for physician authority, prescribing, quote, dispensing, or administering psychotropic in legitimate way. And eligible criteria is not well defined. That's the problem. So far, there are still only 2 petitions to court. It's like iceberg phenomenon, yeah? The first petition was Akian Isna Nauli. She was 33. She was having an eclampsy where her husband, viewed as malpractice, asked for a lethal injection due to unaffordable medical costs. And the second case is Siti Zulaiha. She was a very young woman, only 23, with ectopic pregnancy surgery and went to a prolonged coma. And husband and family, mother, brother, sister, asked for a little injection, but no doctor concerned and nor the hospital. The case was unpopular and dismissed. In conclusions, euthanasia is debatable in Indonesia, but debatable behind the closed door. If it goes behind the closed door, the request of refusing treatments due to unaffordable health care will be exacerbated. If there is not on the table, there will be no resolution, right? The second conclusion and my recommendation is the physician role in the end of life is critical because it is a gray area whether you have to decide is it legal or illegal for me to do so. So you have to be very careful in your judgment. There is a need for a good doctor, to have a good doctor-patient relationship, informed consent, competency, and standard operating procedure. All of us are subject to what I call, hey, wait a second. We are doing things and seeing things, and then we just say, hey, wait a second, why am I doing things this way? Why am I seeing this way? And this is what happened in the euthanasia. Thank you.